Good afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. It's our privilege to have you here, ma'am, for the session.
So much.
I firstly welcome you. So I've made you the co-host. So any changes you want to make, you can make it automatically.
You can share the PPT.
You can share the PPTs as well.
Yes, yes,
Okay. Shall we start the session, ma'am?
yes.
Okay, so firstly, it's our privilege to have ma'am here for the session. I would like to introduce her on behalf of Seshadripuram Institute of Management Studies. So the speaker is Meghana S. Belavadi, the founder CEO Samvida Communications. Meghana is a passionate entrepreneur, trainer, radio jockey, and a social enthusiast. She comes with a rich experience in academia and media as an RJ with All India Radio and a presenter at Doordarshan Bengaluru. She also trains students and young professionals on communication skills and motivation. She used to be a visiting faculty at various MBA colleges in Bangalore. Meghana is also a Rashtrapati Guide Award recipient. She was the first and the youngest Indian to be elected as the Asia Pacific Regional Committee of WAGGGS, that is World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. In her current role, Meghana helps startups and other businesses streamline their communication strategy and scale their businesses. So, welcome you, ma'am, for the session.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
You're Jayashree, right? Thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Shall we anything
Yes,
to tell for the students? You can, ma'am.
yes, sure. So first of all, thank you so much for having me over. And this is not going to be like a one-sided monologue. I would definitely want it to be a dialogue where we discuss, and it's more interactive. So I would encourage all students who are here to like participate and ask questions and keep it interactive. That's how it's going to be interesting. So can we start?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. All the students here are entrepreneurship specialization students. So students take this opportunity to interact with ma'am, and any doubts you have, you can ask her. Be interactive for the session. You can unmute yourself and communicate with her. Okay. Okay. Over to
That's
you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. You can start.
Oh, yes, good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing today? Let me like quickly hear from one or two of you as to what you look forward to from the session. So as soon as you heard like there is a session on national innovation and startup policy, what was the first thing that came to your mind and what brought you to the session? So can I hear it from a few of you? We have Rahul, Shivranjani, Ashia. So, like anybody, whoever would like to tell, what is it that you're looking forward to this session, especially because it is like a 2-hour session? Nothing.
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Shia Sultana here.
Yes, Ashia, please tell me.
Ma'am, I'm like much more interested in this session to know how the entrepreneurs can come up with good ideas and with the innovative, creative things in the present world. Also to also learn about the good communication where we can convey the exact message to our end users and utilize it well from this session.
Definitely. That is something we will definitely touch upon. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, like when I was asked to talk about the policy itself, policy is a larger framework of getting something achieved. So, for example, today all of us talk about startups, innovation, and ecosystem, so many things, funding, a lot of these things, because especially of taken entrepreneurship, a lot of these things come our way. But what does it exactly mean? And as an individual, what does it mean to me? What does it mean to each one of us? That is what I'll be touching upon. And the crux of all of this that is happening around us is us, the individual independent us. So today let's explore the power of each one of you. So what do you see here?
Will good.
Sorry, you'll have to repeat.
Evil. 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 GOOD. Good.
So you also see good and evil. There are a lot of optical illusions like this where we can take example. Each one of us see things differently and we believe what we see is the right thing because what we see is what we believe in. But giving ourselves the space to say that there could be something beyond what we are seeing is important. This is a very common optical illusion. So all of us know we see both good and evil in this. But there are other things in real life where we are not sure. So I'm sure, have you all seen that WhatsApp image that gets forwarded where one side of the thing says 6 and the other one says 4? So one person sees 6 sticks on the floor and the other person sees only 4. Have you seen that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and also like the number 6. So if I see it from my side, it's number 6. Where you see it from your side, it's number 9. So the first thing is to agree and accept that we have a lot of perspectives around us. Do you all know the story of 5 blind men and the elephant? Have you heard the story? Guys, I really want you to be here. Okay, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be engaging only with all of you are totally involving in it. I know it's virtual, the habit is to just put yourself on mute and switch off your video and let the phone or the device be aside to let it happen, but there's no point when we are investing your time, my time, and a lot of resources to make this happen. Might as well get something out of it, right? So, yes, the question is, have you heard the 5 blind men and the elephant story?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
So, for the benefit of everybody, if you feel hesitant to talk, you can also put it on chat. So, that if that's convenient to you, please put it on chat. That's also okay. So, yes, there were this 5 blind men who had never seen an elephant. So, they don't know what an elephant is like. So, what they do is they decide to go and see an elephant which was in the vicinity. These 5 people went, and each one went to one part of the elephant and started feeling it. So, the first one went to the leg of the elephant and he started touching it and feeling it. The second one went to the stomach of the elephant. Third one went to the tail of the elephant. Fourth one went to the trunk of the elephant. And the fifth one went to the ear of the elephant. So now what they started doing is relating that, whatever they are touching and feeling, to something that they already know. Because they are able to, all of us do that, right? We relate it to something that we already know in the past, that is already in our memory. So the first one who touched the leg says, oh my God, elephant is like a pillar. It is thick, it is long, it is like a pillar. The second one said, what are you talking about? Elephant is like a big drum, because he touched the stomach. The third one who touched the tail said, no, it is like a rope. Elephant means a rope. The fourth one who touched the trunk says, no, it is like a pipe. It's like a huge water pipe. And the fifth one said, guys, all of you must be smoking up something. Elephant is like a thin sheet of paper, because he touched the ear. And these 5 people started fighting so crazily. They are very, very adamant on what they think the elephant is. But a person who can see comes to them and says, guys, hold on, stop fighting. An elephant is everything put together. Each one of you are seeing it through your own lenses, which is not wrong, but also because I'm able to see the elephant, everything put together makes an elephant. And then he convinces them or tells them that you touched the trunk, you touched the tail, you touched the stomach, you touched the ear, and everything put together is this huge elephant. So then they started feeling, okay, it's not just what meets our eyes or what we think is right, but there is a lot of things beyond it. And that is what brings us to this point of telling, if you are searching for that one person who will change your life, you'll have to look into the mirror, because only when you convince yourself to believe what is beyond your eyes, That is when change can happen. And in this world where everything is so fast moving, it is very important for you to break that thought of I am right to say the other person can also be right. And to hold on to what you believe, but also accept what the other person has in store or what the other person thinks. And what do you make out of this image? What do you think this image is? What does it mean to you? What does it signify? What do you think it could be?
Stand out of the crowd, ma'am. Maybe.
To stand out of the crowd, that's one way of looking at it. What could another way of looking at it be? Why are the boys so quiet? Rahul, we have who else? I don't see.
Always be unique.
Always be unique, okay? Oops. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, go on. Always be unique, stand out of the crowd. What else could it mean? Rest of the others. So if we say this bunch of balloons is each one of us, if we portray it to be that way, then each one of us has have something in unique that the others don't have. The question is, do we believe in it? Do you believe that you are really special and each one of us are? How many times do we appreciate ourselves for what we are? Do we do that? And why is it important to do that? Yes, no? Do we appreciate ourselves enough?
I do, ma'am, because if I do something that is different, or like if I achieve some short term goal of mine, I reward myself with a small pen or a small gift or something like that. Whenever I see that item next time, that boosts my confidence that I can do that thing again or more like that.
That's fantastic, Rakshita. It's a very Rakshita, right?
Yes, ma'am, Rakshita.
That is a really good thing. That's nice. But how many of us do it? Not a lot of us, but it's a very good habit to have, to appreciate yourself, to acknowledge and reward yourself for what you are is very important. So there is this story. What do you see on the screen? It's a rock, right? So there was this man who left his village who said, I'm so bored of life. I don't want to do anything. And he started loitering around. He went outside his country, his own city, village, and then he found this big rock in the middle. So if he had to cross the path, he had to stand on this rock and he had to stand on it for a long time. And he at least I'll do something. So he started sculpting this rock, and he took a lot of time. He ate whatever was available around him. He spent a lot of time to sculpt the rock. He chiseled the rock, and then finally, what he made was this magnificent lion. And to his surprise, the king was on his tour, the king of the land was on his tour, and he sees the lion and he said, wow, this is a masterpiece. Who did it? He calls this sculptor to his court and he asks, how did you carve such a beautiful, fierce looking lion? And this man very humbly said, well, the lion was already there. I took out the non lion parts of it. He said, the lion was already there, and I took out the non lion parts of the stone. Isn't that a very interesting way to look at it? because whoever we want to be is already within us. And what we have to do is just refine and take out the non-applicable parts of us. So if you like write down who you want to be, you are already that. If you say, I want to be organized, I want to be punctual, I want to be dedicated, I want to be studious, I want to be whatever adjective you can think of, you are already that. But you just have to refine yourself by taking the non-lion parts of you, and that will make you who you exactly want to be. And that story actually changed a lot of lives. The king himself rewarded the sculptor with everything that he wished for and all of that. But apart from that, it gives a big lesson for life. It is how we look at ourselves and what we want to do with our lives. Now, coming to the important part or the core of what we are talking today, the evolution. If we are looking at some 10, 100 years ago, that's like 1,000 years ago, life still existed. But the way life existed was different. Human beings were hunting for animals, and that was the hunter gatherer era where we were looking around for food. We ate whatever we got. We were barbaric. And then somebody thought this can't continue. So they invented these weapons where that helped people to start hunting better, that changed the lifestyle, that helped in bringing out a different way of living. That wasn't enough. Humans were not satisfied. We then went ahead to say, why should we eat only animals? We can grow food. So that is when agriculture started. And that was the early tools of agriculture, enabling agriculture, started growing. And then man started living in civilizations. He did not wander around, but he started, staying in groups of people, which formed the basis of the society. And then came the series of industrial revolutions, Industrial Revolution 1, 2, 3. And today we are part of the fourth industrial revolution, that is the information revolution. Today, internet, digital era, I mean, all of us have experienced how life in the last 8, 9 months have changed the whole way of living. Marriages are happening virtually, everything is happening virtually, events are happening virtually, education has evolved. Every industry that you can think of is evolving, and that is because of innovation. So that is because of not feeling this is good enough, wanting for more. It's also curiosity that has led to doing so much. Now, talking about product evolution, like this is just a sample of how we have evolved, how innovation has helped us evolve. What does this signify to you? What do you see? What does it mean? I mean, it's just, yes, just a image of wheels which have evolved. But what does it have an inner meaning? Do you see something in it?
Try to improve things for better conditions.
Absolutely. It is making something easier. So when it was the stone wheel, how it was pushed and the effort it took to push was very different. And then the wooden wheels came that had its, what to say, its pros and cons. And as we evolve, we always find something is lacking. And that is what gives us motivation to do it differently and to do it better. Now, yes, somebody wanted to talk? Okay. Now, going further, the question we all want to know answer for, what is innovation? What does it mean to you? What is innovation? Do you innovate your life every day? Do you see innovation as a part of your life every day? Yes, no, maybe? Can I hear it from you guys? What
May
is
not be innovate, but we may discover one or the other thing on a daily basis, like a new thing or a new movie or a new plant, anything for that matter, something new.
Absolutely. And what is innovation? What do you think innovation is?
Creative thinking.
What is creativity?
New ideas.
New ideas, okay. Why is it important?
To make things easier or life easier.
To make life easier? Yes, I mean, all of what you said is definitely innovation. Let's go by the definition to see what is innovation. So, according to the definition, innovation is a process which is a process by which a domain, a product, a service is renewed and brought up to date by applying new processes, introducing new technologies, and establishing successful ideas to create new value. So, if you have to give an example for innovation, what would you think of? What are some innovative ideas that you have come across and you felt, wow, that's innovative? It could be as simple as, something in your daily life. And can innovation be learned? Can you learn innovation? No, nobody, no thoughts?
Ma'am, innovation can be created, ma'am, rather than learning.
So if you are an innovator, you are creating an innovation.
Yeah.
How do you do it? What do you think is the process of innovation?
Bringing some new change, or
Mhm.
like just for the change, you come up with the new innovative things.
Okay, so give me an example of something innovative that you have come across. Like you end up saying, wow, that's innovative. We've heard this word innovation so much, right? Guys, you have to innovate. Innovation is the key. So many things. We hear it often. What does it mean? Can you think of a product that has changed your life or that has changed the way you do things?
Virtual
Online classes.
reality and robotics.
Virtual reality and robotics, yes, that has given a whole new dimension into how we used to see things, perceive things. Yes, that is an innovation. Simple, like very groundbreaking things. If you have to go back to history, also is fine. In fact, wheel was an innovation. We saw the different series of wheels, right? Wheel actually changed life big time, because until then people used to walk from place to place, and after wheel was invented, okay, again, now invention and innovation are very tricky to understand. Invention comes out of innovation. Innovation is like the bigger umbrella. Under innovation there are a lot of things that can happen. So we all have some basic idea of what innovation is, and by definition we kind of understand that it's a very large concept. Innovation in itself is a very big thing to understand, but if we have to break it down into chunks and try and understand what is innovation, anything like, for example, your safety pin is innovation, your Zoom call is innovation, e-books are innovation. So anything that has made our life simpler and better is innovation. It comes out of a new idea or a new thought process which simplifies the way things are done before. So it is like pre-corona and post-corona, how we define life to be different. What are all the enablers to make our life different? All of that comes under innovation. Next question is, what is startup? What does startup mean? We all hear, right? Like startup has been the buzzword, at least for the last decade or so, startup has taken like a huge leap from being a new business to calling a startup. Like everybody could start a business, but what does it takes to be a startup?
Setting up something, action, or due to motive or cause.
Due to motive or cause, okay? What is a startup? I'm sure you have this question on your syllabus also, right? In entrepreneurship, you definitely study about startups. What is a startup philosophy? What does it mean to be a startup?
Bringing up unique service or product to the market.
Mhm. How is it different from innovation? How is it different from innovation? Sindhu, Rahul, Farheen, Rashmi, whoever. Are you all there? Are you all present? Or is it so boring that you feel like, oh God, lady, please don't eat our heads anymore?
We are present, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, we are present.
Okay. So, Rahul, what is a startup according to you? It's okay, whatever your understanding is, just let it out.
It's our creative mind, ma'am, where we do a new business,
Mm-hmm.
which is innovative instead of others.
You brought out a very important point. You brought out the word business. That is very important for something being a startup. So, innovation without the business model is just an innovation. It is not scalable. It is not growable. It's just an innovation. It's just an idea. But how do you take your idea to making it a startup? And this is what the definition is. So, according to the National Innovation and Startup Policy, an entity that develops a business model based on either a product innovation or a service innovation and makes it scalable, replicable, and self reliant. And also, there is a definition given in the Gazette notification. This is a startup. So you have an innovative idea and you make it a business model, you scale it up, and you have a plan to grow. That is a startup. And in the normal terms, a startup is also defined as a young company which is founded by one or more entrepreneurs to develop a unique product or service and bring it to the market. By its nature, it's typically a startup which tends to be a shoestring operation, which means you're bootstrapped, which with initial funding from the founders or their family or friends. So the crux of being a startup, very important thing is, yes, we have ideas, how we scale our ideas, how we promote it, how we take it to the next level, how we bring in funding, how we grow, how we help, and how we make it big. So when the moment we hear startup, a lot of college students, a lot of engineering, non-engineering, a lot of college students, a lot of youth today want to do a startup. So if you ask their goals, what do you want to be? I want to be an entrepreneur. What do you want to do? I want to start up. And these are the answers that we hear. I interact with a lot of college students, and this is what I hear from them. And if you don't get a job anywhere, I'm going to start something on my own. But is it so simple? Is it as simple as we say, as we talk about startup? Or what does it take? According to you, what does it take to have a startup or to start something on your own? You're all MBA graduates. I mean, not graduates, but at least soon to be graduates. What do you think? All of you want to do something on your own, right? That is what brought you into taking entrepreneurship. Am I right? So, in these
Yes, ma'am.
years or in your period of studying MBA, what do you think you need to equip yourself with to run a good startup? What do you think you need?
Creative mind, innovative thoughts,
Sorry, creative mind,
innovative thoughts.
innovative thoughts. Then, okay, whatever you're saying is, yes, we hear all of this, but you personally, if you ask yourself as Sindhu is the one who answered, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Sindhu, you as an individual, what do you think you need to equip yourself better to be able to start something on your own?
Good leadership skills.
Good leadership skill. Okay, interesting words. I'm going to make a note of everything that you're saying just to be able to get back to it later. So I'm just going to write down these words. Okay, so you told me leadership, innovative mindset. What else?
Good financial, ma'am.
Sorry, Shivranjani, you'll have to repeat. I couldn't hear you.
Financial.
Finance. Okay.
Problem solving skills.
Problem solving. Okay.
Business plan.
Business plan. All right. What was my question? My question was, what skills do you need to start up, or what skills do you need to be an entrepreneur? And I have leadership, innovative mindset, finance, problem solving skills, and business plan. How many of these are really skills that you can acquire? And do you think entrepreneurs are born or are they made? No answer. Do you think entrepreneurs are born or are they made?
They are made, ma'am.
Entrepreneurs are made. Okay. Does everybody think entrepreneurs are made?
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Some are born.
Okay, some are born, some are made. Well, I agree with Sindhu. Some are born, some are made. It is not rocket science to really say we can't do it. Anything is possible. It's just the mindset. Talking about mindset, it brings us to a very important question of what is the right mindset to have? According to a lot of studies and things, there are certain skills that are prescribed to say, if you possess these skills, then you automatically be a leader. These skills, you automatically be an entrepreneur. But according to you, in your understanding, what do you think are the, skills that you need?
Accepting
Taking
everything that comes on our way.
Okay, one by one, Rakshita first, and then the other person who spoke. Yes, Rakshita.
Accepting things that come on our way.
Accepting things, okay.
Taking initiatives.
Taking initiatives, fantastic.
Confident.
Confidence, yes. Accepting.
Positive thinking.
Positive
Being
thinking.
creative.
Yes,
Being creative.
Supriya, you'll have to repeat.
Being creative.
Being creative. Okay, pretty much. You're all nailing it. I'm super happy from the responses that I'm getting. Yes.
Creating a need in the market for the service or product that we are going to develop.
Creating the need. Let's spend a little bit time on this. So, is it important to create the need for something, or is it important to understand the need and address it?
It's like, if you know that there is something that needs to be done, you can do that, or else you can create a need among people. It's like you develop a product, advertise it, market it, and then make people to buy it.
Absolutely. So, this used to be a very, what to say, light thing that we used to talk when we were students, that who makes you realize that you need to buy rice bran oil instead of coconut oil? Or who makes you believe that rice bran oil is better for your health than groundnut oil? It's the marketing people. So basically, marketing drives a lot of consumer behavior. And like you said, I think that is Rashmi. No, what's your name? Rashmi only, right? No,
Rakshita, ma'am.
Rakshita. Sorry, I can't see the names sometimes. So yes, like Rakshita said, it is both ways. One is to understand what is needed in the market and addressing it. The other, if you have something so innovative that people don't even know. For example, couple of years ago, let's say 3 decades ago, when your great grandparents, not great grandparents, not 3 decades, let's say more than that, 5 decades ago, when our great grandparents were there, they used to have one Lifebuoy soap and the whole family used to use it. I'm talking about when Lifebuoy or whichever soap came into the market. And then it changed. The way business was done changed, the way products were bought, the consumer behavior, the way people saw these new entrants into the market completely changed. And today each one have our own soaps and multiple soaps for different reasons, be it shampoo or anything. So as innovation changes or as innovation evolves, lifestyle also evolves. So it is directly proportional. The lifestyle is directly proportional to how the market changes, the innovation. So what us as entrepreneurs, as people who want to do something for the society, who want to change lifestyle, we have to keep a couple of things in mind. So I have kind of summarized the whole thing. Do you want to know the mantra that I have into making a good entrepreneur? Do you want to know? Do you want to know the secret?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Each of us have it differently, okay? It's not like it's not like one size fits all. We all have our own definitions to making successful entrepreneurs. But before we go to that, why do you think it's important to encourage startups? And what do you think are the important components of encouraging a startup? We hear this quite often, right? It's important to encourage startups. A lot of initiatives have been taken, a lot of policies have come under. Why do you think it's important? As like the leaders of tomorrow, you're already leaders today, but leaders of the next 5 years, it's important for me to understand what you think about this. No response?
To
No
increase
thoughts?
employability, ma'am.
Sorry, to increase employability, yes. So let's see. We have more startups. What does that mean? If we have more successful startups, what does it mean? Nothing? Or is the question so confusing? Hello? Are you all there? Guys and girls? There's dead silence. What happened?
Ma'am, you repeat the question once again, ma'am.
Why do you think it is important to encourage more startups? What do you think will happen when we have more successful startups?
Indian economy will develop, ma'am.
The economy will develop, definitely. That's at the macro level.
More opportunities to employees.
More opportunities for work, yes, employment in generation.
Platforms will be created for new innovations.
Yes. Yes, platforms will be created for new innovations, and we will have a lot of new innovative products, and basically there will be a huge paradigm shift in our lifestyles. And why is it important to encourage startups? Because that will give impetus to something that we can't even imagine. So what happens when we have more successful startups, which means we have more solutions to problems? The first point of any startup is to identify a problem that they want to solve. And each of the startup that you take, for example, let's take Uber or Ola. Let's take Ola, an Indian company. The problem that they address the problem. So let's go into innovation later, because some may be innovation, some may not be innovation, but problems are being solved. So we had problem of transportation. Ola to some extent solved the problem. There is always scope for more. There is always more problems to solve. But let's see what is being solved already. We have Ola, we have Porter. Porter is another startup. Have you heard of Porter? Have you heard of Porter? Yes, no, maybe. Never
Like
mind, I go
mini
ahead.
truck company,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Sorry?
The online booking of mini trucks.
That's right. So Porter, so if you have to shift something from one place to another, earlier it used to be cumbersome. And what Porter did, use the same platform which technology has built, and then they connected people who will provide this and people who will consume this. If we have to talk about other startups in other sectors, so there are various like healthcare, education, mobility, transportation, knowledge. There are different streams, and each of them are trying to solve something that they find is critical and important. For example, there is Fabric Spa. They use the same platform and they are providing a service. For example, Dunzo is helping people to pick up something that they've forgotten and deliver it wherever they need. So a lot of these startups, these applications that are coming today, it need not necessarily be a technology startup. Startup is not synonymous to technology. So that is one thing that I'll make clear. So it need not be a technology startup. It can also be otherwise. For example, there is this company called Niramai. A good friend of mine runs it. What she does is a healthcare startup. She is using, again, artificial intelligence to detect early stage of breast cancer without invasion, which means there is no peers on your body, but still through, again, mammogram and all of that is painful. But without any of that, just using photo processing, image processing, she is able to detect early stages of cancer, breast cancer. That is definitely path breaking. Apart from that, there are other startups, unicorns in Karnataka, which are fostered, which grew in Karnataka. There's this guy called Arun Cherian who does prosthetic cane legs. All of you have heard about amputated, the people who wear these Jaipur arms and legs, the plastic hands and limbs. So what Arun does is make it out of cane. So one thing, cane is lightweight, it is more affordable. So each person who has something, who has the fire in the belly, goes out, finds out a problem and finds a solution for it. Sometimes your idea might have a glass ceiling where there is a limit to the people you can reach, but still it is solving problem. Today we have a lot of audiobook companies which is trying to solve the problem of blind people who cannot really read a book. Instead of converting it to braille, we have audiobooks which are coming up. So in every space, in every industry, in every sector, a lot of people are thinking on what problem matters to them and how they can solve. Sometimes technology helps, sometimes it's just an idea. So there is this what to say, there's this new concept of our hostels wherein they are encouraging backpacking. So you just pack your bag, go on a trip, go to a village, go to a small town, understand what lifestyle there is, and you blog about it. So what is happening? A lot of online content creation is happening. And today, when you go on internet, stories are very important. Be it your story, being you, being human, Better India. There are a lot of agencies who bring out human centric stories. And what is that doing? It is encouraging more people to start something and address problems. So now, I mean, I've done a lot of talking. I know it is like, it's something that you already know, but just rekindling that thoughts in your mind. There is this US based garments company which was really hit. This is a story that happened a couple of years ago. It was badly hit by recession, and this company did not have enough projects. So in this situation, the founder, the CEO of the company, is thinking how to cut short on expenses. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes time. If you want to discuss among yourselves, please feel free. I want you to come up with feasible solutions of how this problem of cost cutting can be solved. How do you think? I have a solution. I will tell you what this guy did, but I want you guys to think, if you were the CEO of this company, a garments company which does not have enough funds, which does not have enough projects in hand to fund everybody, to fund all the employees, what is the next plan of action that the CEO should do? Am I clear? Are you clear with the question? This is a situation that I want you guys to solve for. What do you think the founder of this company should do? How do you think he should address this issue? You can take about 5 minutes time. I'm going to go on mute. If you want to discuss amongst yourself, please feel free. I want you to give a feasible solution to this problem. Are you all with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Think, think, think innovative, think as much as you can, and see what could be a feasible solution. If you have any questions, I'm right here, okay? If anybody has any thoughts, you can start sharing.
Cluster formation with the nearby tailors.
Cluster formation. Do you want to tell a little bit more? What do you mean?
Like instead of keeping laborers in the company and making them do the work, go to the nearby tailor shops and make a group of those nearby tailors and make them do products for you by sharing. Like you can tell them that you'll share a percentage of profit with them.
Okay, so which means you're saying that he has to lay off people and like the current employees, he has to lay them off and then work with freelancers.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
that's
he can keep his employees, but he can cut so much. Like he can cut half of them or the unskilled laborers. Like
okay.
he can cut them off and make cluster among the tailors in the nearby locations.
Okay, yeah. What else? Any other thoughts? Think a little bit more. And what do you think is important for an organization? This is a question which doesn't, okay, anyway, I'll ask the question, you give it some thought. Is it people, process, or product? What do you think is important in a company?
Product, ma'am.
Think about it.
All three, ma'am. All the three.
I'm happy if you guys want to have a discussion amongst yourself on the thoughts that you have. It actually is good. It's always good to have a dialogue and then contradict somebody's thoughts. That always gives more opportunity to learning. So I'm happy if you want to discuss amongst yourself for a couple of minutes. Nothing? No thoughts? What happened to the others? Do you want to know what this founder did?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened to the others? Why aren't you guys responding? Okay, anyway, so here is what the founder of the startup did. What he did was openly told people that this is the situation. This is the current situation where he does not have enough projects and he's not able to um, give money to everybody, but it is very important for him to have everybody on board. So what he said is, we will give unpaid leave to all employees. So 1 month unpaid leave to everybody so that they can cost cut so much. And this helped the working environment of the office change so much that people who are earning more salary and people who are earning, they among themselves coordinated so that people who are earning less worked throughout and people who are earning more took more break so that they have a job in hand, they are not laid off and left in the dark. It built so much of oneness among the employees of the organization. They also increased the productivity and very soon they came back into normal routine of business. And that is when the founder said, see, it was easy for me to lay off people and cost cut, but when I wanted people the most, if whenever I want them the most, they might not be there for me. If the company is not there for them, how can I expect them to be there for the company? So this is an innovative way of solving the problem, because it, okay, a couple of things. One is it fosters oneness among the employees of the organization. Second thing is everybody felt belonged to the organization, and a lot of new practices came into picture. So whenever you feel that there is no way to go forward, that's wrong. There is always a way to go forward. So just think beyond what you are seeing, and you will definitely find a way to do it. On that note, let's go back to where we were. Just give me a minute. Okay, so now, having said that, having spoken about what innovation is, what is startup, why it is important to have more startups, the main topic of today's discussion is the National Innovation and Startup Policy. Let's see what it has in store. So the National Innovation and Startup Policy was derived or was put together in 2019, and this is a special one for students and faculty members to encourage university level ideas, to encourage startups and business ideas at the university level. The national government, along with the Ministry of Human Resource and a lot of other agencies, has put together, there's a 10-membered committee which came together, the directors of IIMs and IITs came together to put this document, to put this policy together. And the crux of this policy, so again, when I say policy, it is mostly at the strategic level of how to foster more startups. There are 10 important components in this: the strategies and governance. What is the strategy? The higher education institutions of all states were being involved to say, at the college level, it is important to have an incubation cell, it's important to have a startup cell, whatever you can call it, where students are encouraged on entrepreneurship and they study entrepreneurship as a subject, which helps them to understand the business model, how to take idea to POC. Do you know what is POC? Okay, POC is proof of concept, which is when you have an idea, you make a prototype of it, you build a dummy piece or you build a working model to see how the product functions. So how to take idea to POC, and then how all of these institutions are involved, and there are some mandatory rules that education institutions should follow. Having one coordinator who is a go-to person, and again, when in an incubation lab, there are certain things that you need to have, certain facilities that have to be provided, including funding. So the strategies and governance talks about what every education institution has to do. And startup enabling institutional infrastructure. Again, talking about infrastructure, it's about having a space where people can come and brainstorm together to work on their idea, to give them facilities in terms of logistics, whatever they need. Nurturing innovation and startups. Here they talk about how important it is to nurture the idea. So when somebody has a go-to person, has a mentor available, it is easy for them to grow their idea. And the policy also talks about product ownership rights. It talks about IPR. You can file IPR. You can have patents in the institution name. Depends on who is the owner of idea. You can work with your faculty members. You can work with your own teammates. You can work with students from the same university in other colleges and then develop a product. Again, organizational capacity and human resource and incentives. So how you incentivize these startups is also something that is discussed in the policy. And the policy as such does not give grants, but under the policy, there are a lot of programs, which I'll talk about in a short while, that will give you a lot of incentives in terms of finance, in terms of legal advice, in terms of idea, incubation, mentorship, and all of that. And then the policy also talks about creating a pipeline and pathway for entrepreneurs at the institution level, norms for faculty startups, how faculty members can be a part of these startups, pedagogy and learning interventions, how you can learn from mistakes. So they have a directory of startups, they have already an ecosystem that you can go to. Collaboration, co-creation, and business relationship. This, I think, is the crux of any startup. Collaborating is absolutely important. It's not what you already know, but it's about having a co-founder, having the right kind of expertise to bring on board, and how you develop from there. And entrepreneurial impact assessment. So what is the impact of this startup? So if this idea grows big, what is the impact on the society? So this is the basic framework of the policy. And if you're interested, we can go deeper, but more personally, more than the policy itself, I think it's important for you to understand what it takes to start. And being an entrepreneur for more than like a year and a half, close to 2 years now, the experience is absolutely gratifying. And it is not easy. The journey is definitely not easy. How you start is just with an idea, with a fire of wanting to do something. And so many instances you will feel that when you see all your colleagues, or not colleagues, when you see your batchmates earning every month, earning a fixed salary every month, planning vacations, you will definitely feel, did I make a mistake? But what keeps you going, what should keep you going, is the fire that you have, the belief that you have in the idea. And that is the moment that you have to convince yourself to say what you believed is right and go ahead. Definitely pivoting, changing, making changes, going back to the storyboard will always be there, but you have to stay strong. Perseverance is definitely the key to making a good startup. Now, are you all with me? Any questions so far? Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to discuss? Guys, are you all there? How many of you want to stop the session here, end the session here? Hello? No response. Are you able to hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how many of you want to say, okay, that was enough, that was a lot of information, we'll stop here? Or if you want to go further, let me know. Do you want to know the mantra of what I follow, what I believe? Yes, no?
We
No
need to
response.
hear it, ma'am.
You want to? Okay, let's go. This is what it takes to be an entrepreneur. You need to have passion, you need to learn, you need to be outgoing, you need to be organized, you need to be like all of these. There are a lot of things that people say you should do. There are a lot of things that is a big no-no. First thing is to face yourself. That is the biggest thing. So let's go ahead. The first thing I have is, what do you see here? What do you feel when you look at this baby?
They're trying to eat, ma'am.
Trying to eat, yes.
Pure happiness.
It's happy, it is joyful, it is jubilance. So the first mantra to being an entrepreneur is carrying jubilance all the time. When somebody sees you, they need to feel that, oh wow, she is happy, he is happy. So you need to be internally happy for you to reflect that. You can't be sulking inside and put up a happy face outside. That's definitely not possible. So be happy all the time. That's like the first thing. The second thing is, in this video, I want you guys to see this video. Tell me if you're able to hear the audio, okay? Can you hear? Okay, so what did that mean? Hello? Hello? Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
What did that mean to you?
fit in where you are accepted for what you are and explore the opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And also, what was the um, what? How do you think it felt to be Perry the peacock?
Just be you. This is what it meant, ma'am.
Absolutely. So, acknowledging, accepting yourself, and not see, it was just one decision for Perry the Peacock to say, okay, I'll wear the penguin suit and be there, belonged. So, sometimes it's about being unique and accepting yourself. Being unique is okay. And even if you don't belong to that place, that you will have another place where you belong to. So there are two things to this. One, is it about being adamant of who you are, or is it about accepting who you are? Because if you are adamant and not ready to change at all, that's again difficult. But understanding your boundaries of what you can change, what is negotiable, what is non-negotiable is very important. So somewhere, some things, sometimes when you think it is okay to change, it is something for the better, it's okay at that point to change. But otherwise, it is important for you to keep it to yourself and, say, it's okay, I'll find another opportunity. That is important. Okay, let's go next. Oops. So, do you recognize these people? Do you recognize these people?
No, ma'am. Third one is Ratan Tata.
Third one is Ratan Tata, yes. Fourth one, okay, the first picture here is Thomas Alva Edison. This is Walt Disney, this is Ratan Tata, and this is Oprah Winfrey. So each one of them have gone through their own journey. Thomas Alva Edison failed so many times and he had the courage to bounce back every single time to pursue what he believed in. Walt Disney failed miserably as a cartoonist. He said he was fired from his job and he started the Disney World. Today, cartoon is synonymous to Disney. Ratan Tata failed billion number of times and today we look up to him. Oprah Winfrey was rejected from her job of being a presenter and today she has her own show which has millions and millions of followers. What made them special? Do you see a common thread in all of their stories?
They never give up.
They gave themselves the space to fail. That's the next step. That's the next mantra. Give yourself the space to fail. It is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to fail. What is important is to pick yourself up and go back into doing what you believe you want to do. Give yourself that space to fail. Next is, what is this? What do you see here?
Maze Garden.
Okay, that's a maze garden. We'll come to that in a bit, but before that, I have something to show. I will not show the whole video here. I will just show, this is 2008 Olympics. This is a recording of the 2008 Indoor Olympics. I will show you from somewhere in between.
600 meters, 3 times around the 200-meter track here at the field house.
What a bold move by Fawn. She's looking very confident, and the Penn State runner is just running amazing today. She did win her heat in the 400, but ended up taking 4th overall.
That's Fawn Dorr moving into the lead, a sophomore from Penn State. Dornerton running second. Dornerton last year scored 23 points for the Golden Gophers in their Big Ten championship. So they're really relying on getting a lot of points from her this weekend, and she's just coming by Fawn Dorr now in the home stretch, heading into the bell lap. Dornerton falling down, gets up quickly, but that's going to cost her. Lucky she wasn't injured. Her teammate just went to the front, though, so they may be able to recover from that. And Dornerton is flying down the backstretch. She is catching up. She is going to catch Fawn Dorr, and she may catch the leader. Wow.
She's got 1.
This is a gutsy effort by Dornerton. Can she pull it off? She's looking at good. Coming down this track. Extended 400. Basically, to fall with 200 meters to go and get up and win, that is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That's really the most exciting round I've seen.
Okay, so what did you see in that? Guys, is the audio video clear? You're able to see?
Video had so many breaks, ma'am, in between.
Okay, but were you able to see? Was it okay? Do you want me to play it once more? Or rather, I'll send you the link to the video. You can see it later. But let me summarize what happened here. Heather Dorney fell right on her face. She picked up herself, she ran, and she came first in the race. What do we do when we fail? Do we have the courage to trust ourselves, to pick up ourselves and run the race? That is what is important. There will be many instances when we will fall flat on our face. Something that we expected didn't go the way we really thought it would go. Picking yourself up, trusting yourself is extremely important. So that's the 4th tip that I have for you. Trust yourself. Next, let's go into that maze. What does the maze tell you? What do you do in a maze? What do you see when you do, what do you do when you see a maze?
We just enter and get lost in maze.
Okay, that's one way. What else? What are you expected to do when you have a maze?
You can choose different ways to achieve your goal, ma'am.
Absolutely. So solving the maze is important. That is your goal. How do you solve? Identifying, first you are put into the maze. Next is to identify your own paths, to run through it, to skim through it, to swim through it or run through it. You have multiple options. You can sit on a problem and crib on it and sulk that it's a problem. You can also pick yourself up and say, I'm going to solve this, and find ways of solving it. So the next one is to solve the problem. Solve the problem that is close to your heart, that matters to you. Another thing on S is SWOT analysis. Knowing your own strengths and weaknesses is important. So when you know your weakness, when you know what your strengths are, it will help you work accordingly. You might not always have strength in all areas. That is when having a startup, having co-founders who have strengths that you don't have is important. It is not always that you need to have like-minded people. You need to have people from different thoughts. So you need to have, that is what is inclusion all about. If somebody agrees to everything that you're saying, you're not in the right space. You need to have people who will challenge you. You need to have people with a different thought process. That is when you'll be able to bring out the best as a team. So that is another tip. Tomorrow you have a very important exam, and today your parents are asking you to attend a family function where you don't even know who these people are. Okay, tomorrow is your exam, and today you have the movie releasing of your favorite hero or heroine that you've been waiting for a long time. What would you do in situation 1? What would you do in situation 2? What would your response be? What would you do in the situation 1? What would, like, tomorrow is your exam and today your parents ask you to go to this family function that you're not interested. What would you do? What would you say? Guys, is it getting boring? Do you feel we have to stop this? Hello? All right, let me tell you whatever I thought. So in this situation, you would naturally tell your parents, Mom, are you crazy? I have my exam tomorrow. I need to study. Do you think I can be fooling around attending a wedding of somebody whom I don't even know? So you wouldn't choose to go in the first situation. In the second situation, when you have to go for a movie of your choice, what you would do is plan your time accordingly. You would say you really want to watch that movie. You've been waiting for a long time. You will go watch the movie, come back, plan your time, sleep less in the night, cover your portions, write the exam. The difference between these two situations, when something is pushed down, shoved down your throat, you wouldn't want to do it. But when you decide to do something, you will automatically manage time. It's same 3 hours in this case or that case. But when you choose to do it, you will manage your time, you will plan accordingly and still be able to do your exams well. When you take ownership of what your decisions are, there's nobody to stop you. You will know how to manage your time. So that critical and important in all situations. How you manage your 24 hours a day, 365 days a year is very important. All of us are blessed with the same amount of time, but how each one of us spend it will make the difference. So the next one is again a video. It is a short one. Let's play. What happened? How many of you know how to ride a bicycle here? Two-wheeler, bicycle, anything? I have no response. Anyway, going ahead. Here is an experiment.
Hey, it's me, Destin. Welcome back to Smarter Every Day. You've heard people say it's just like riding a bike, meaning it's really easy and you can't forget how to do it, right? But I did something. I did something that damaged my mind. It happened on the streets of Amsterdam, and I got really scared, honestly. I can't ride a bike like you can anymore. Before I show you the video of what happened, I need to tell you the backstory. Like many 6-year-olds with a MacGyver mullet, I learned how to ride a bike when I was skill, and I was really proud of it. Everything changed though when my friend Barney called me 25 years later. Where I work, the welders are geniuses and they like to play jokes on the engineers. He had a challenge for me. He had built a special bicycle and he wanted me to try to ride it. He had only changed one thing. When you turn the handlebar to the left, the wheel goes to the right. When you turn it to the right, the wheel goes to the left. I thought this would be easy, so I hopped on the bike ready to demonstrate how quickly I could conquer this.
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Destin Salem. First attempt riding the bicycle.
All right. So the faster I go, the better. Yeah.
I couldn't do it. You can see that I'm laughing, but I'm actually really frustrated. In this moment, I had a really deep revelation. My thinking was in a rut. This bike revealed a very deep truth to me. I had the knowledge of how to operate the bike, but I did not have the understanding. Once you have a rigid way of thinking in your head, sometimes you cannot change that, even if you want to.
So that was an interesting experiment of how our brain, once we have decided on something, once we believe in something, somebody wants to say something? Had you seen this video earlier? Did you know about this experiment? Yes, no, maybe.
No, ma'am.
Yes. So yes, what they did was to change, if you turn it to your left, it turns to the right, and the vice versa. And when they gave it to people who didn't know how to ride a bike, they could easily adapt to it. So somebody who didn't know how to ride a bicycle could easily ride this bicycle. But somebody who already knew how to ride the normal bicycle could not ride this bicycle until the time that they unlearned and learnt it again. So a lot of instances in life, in your entrepreneurial journey, unlearn a lot of things to relearn. So it is like this continuous process of unlearning, learning, and relearning. So you need to be absolutely open-minded to believe something that you already know is right, to make that null and void, and to relearn something. Another tip that I have for you is to experiment, explore, and express. Don't feel shy or hesitant to experiment something that you don't know, to explore what you don't know, something, experiment what you know, explore what you don't know, and express what you've learned. So in this whole journey of being an entrepreneur, these skills will come a long way with you, because that is this is my understanding of how it has been. And the last thing is a summary of what we've done so far is to be jubilant, unique, give yourself the space to fail, trust in yourself, be truthful, solve the problem that matters to you, manage your time, independent. Okay, so this was one slide that was blank. Being independent and interdependent is important. So it is not about I know what is the best, but it's also about being interdependent with the society, with everybody around you, to being humble and asking for help when you need it. Learn to unlearn, to relearn. So that's the process that I spoke about. And experiment, explore, and express. Ratan Tata once said, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk together. How strange is it? We wish to wear high brands, but we feel more comfortable in pajamas. We wish to sit in Taj and Marriott with elite people, but we enjoy the roadside tea with friends and people we love. We wish to own big cars and go long drives, yet we talk our hearts out only when we are walking down a long road. We have 64 GB iPods filled with songs, but sometimes a song on the radio brings a smile that you can't compare to anything. So that's what it is. And being an entrepreneur is a wonderful, wonderful experience. If you want to take on the journey, be fully prepared to go through the ups and downs and the highs and lows that it has to offer for you. And another thing is, it's okay to make mistakes. Accept yourself for making mistakes. And now to give you more information on what is there. So if you want to start up, what are the opportunities you have? I've been a part of the Karnataka Startup Cell. My startup is recognized by the strategy in terms of how they take their idea to the next level. My internet is unstable. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's a little bit about me, what I've done. I mean, I'm sure you've all heard and seen about me, but yeah, I'll give you my email ID at the end of the session. So if there is anything you think I could help you with, please feel free. And yes, I was talking about the startup programs. There are a lot of programs for college students. There is also something called NAIN, New Age Incubation Network. So if your college doesn't have one, you can talk to the faculty members and then see how you can be a part of NAIN. If you want any incubators around you, there are a lot of people who are ready to help. It's just that idea that you believe in and go through the process. I mean, we could probably have another session talking about how you bring or how you arrive at an idea. There's something called design thinking, which is a 5-step process that helps you think clearly. It is not like very complicated. It's just simple steps, breaking down your thought process into simple steps. So we could do that sometime. And yes, so there is something called Elevate program that is for startups. New Age Incubation Network is something you can look up. There are a lot of other NGOs that help young entrepreneurs. There are funds, like tons of money given to people who have ideas. So the ecosystem is robust. There is a lot of opportunity. All you have to do is know when to grab it. The first thing is to start with yourself. Today's session, most of it, if you saw, was more about yourself than about entrepreneurship, because that is the first step. So understanding yourself, aligning yourself to what you want to do is the core of starting up and starting something on your own. So like, keep that fire on, do all the wonderful things you can, and make use of this period to learn as much as you can. And yes, the world is at your foot. So go and achieve it. If you have any questions at this point, I'm happy to take. Any questions? Anything you want to say? I hope whatever was discussed was useful. If it was not, please don't curse me for it. I've shared my email ID on the chat, so feel free to write to me if you have anything, and if you want to discuss anything, I'm happy to help. Any questions? No? Okay, so I hand it over to the organizers, Bharat or Jaishri ma'am, anybody?
Yes, ma'am. Jaishri here. So, students, if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions to be taken from the ma'am, you can ask by all means.
Have any feedback if you have? Happy to take it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chaitra. Thank you. I mean, if anything
Thank
to
you,
say.
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Romana.
Ma'am, it was informative, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashia.
Okay.
All right. So I've given my email ID. If you have anything, any point, please feel free to reach out. And thank you so much for being an amazing audience. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Ma'am, I take this opportunity to give a vote of thanks. So we were very much honored to have you here for the session. I think students have, you have reached the students related to the insights towards the innovation and insights towards the startups. So you started with relating to the stories which you try to reach to the students, and you followed by the quote. I like the quote which you quoted: if you are searching for a person who can make you better, look at mirror. So that was really touching. And thank you for the whole session. I think the whole session has geared up the students to come up with the new innovative ideas. So thank you for being here. I also take this opportunity to thank our Honorable General Secretary Dr. Udupi Krishna, and I also take this opportunity to give a vote of thanks for the President, N.R. Pandit Aradhya sir, in absentia. I also take this opportunity to thank our Director Ma'am Dr. Vatsala ji. So last but not the least, thank you for the participants for their patience listening and participation. Thank you all for the session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here and giving your insights towards the innovation and startups.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you all. Maybe we'll end the session.
Yeah.
Thank you all.